Hello everyone, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this paper crafting tutorial. Today we're going to be making this beautiful box together, and it opens, its closure is really fancy. It's called an interlocking closure, and you can see if you just lift this up it just comes apart like that, and there's your little box. And then when you want to use it again you just pull these two together and it locks beautifully like that. Isn't that clever? Alright, so I should say this is not my idea. I saw this online. I did adjust the measurements to make my own, but I think it's a really clever idea. So that one was garden green. This time we're going to use slightly different. We're going to use cherry cobbler, and we're going to do a little bit of scoring. So let's get our scoring tool out. And here you'll see you've got a thick end and a thin end of your scoring tool, your stylus, and you want to be using the thinner end because it is cardstock. So I'm just going to get the measurements so I know what I'm meant to be doing, which is always a good thing because I'll never remember them on my own, so I have to write everything down. Right, now we want to measure at 2 1/8 of an inch, so that's just the tick mark after the 2, so 2 1/8, 3 1/8, 7 1/4, that's 7 1/4 there, make sure I get the right place, 7 1/4, 8 1/4, there we go, and then 10 3/8. And I'm actually going to cut this off here at 10 3/8. I just made the cardstock a bit bigger because I wasn't sure of my measurements. Okay, then we've got a piece here that measures 5 by 6 inches, and this is really easy. Just going to score on 1 inch on all sides. So 1 inch twist, 1 inch, and twist again. There we go. So that's all of our scoring done. That is it. Short and simple. Now bring in my trimmer just so I can cut that piece off where I said to you here at 10 3/8, because I hadn't done that. There we go. Now all we're going to do is fold on our score lines. So let me get my bone folder out and let's give everything a really good burnish. Get those score lines working really well. Okay, and then the same here for our base. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little bit of cutting. So you see you've got your big rectangle, and then on the outside you've got these 4 little squares. I'm going to focus on these 4 little squares now. So you'll see you've got a score line here. So you're going to cut along that score line up to the first score line, just like that, to release that flap. And then you're going to cut a little angle into the flap or mitre it. So you just like that. Do you see? You've just cut away these 2 little thin, very thin little pieces. So let's do it again here. Up to the score line, along the score line, and on the small little square flaps you're going to cut, you're going to mitre them and cut out. So you've done that side, now let's do this side. And go a bit faster, now we know what we're doing. And then last but not least, this is the standard way you make any kind of box. Very, very standard box making techniques. Okay, so then you should have something that looks like that. Okay, so this is going to be your outside. I'm going to flip it to the inside. You can see naturally with your scoring everything wants to fold this way. On the inside here I've got a piece of designer series paper, and this is the Nest of Winter designer series paper. And I'm not going to give you all these measurements because there's some wonky ones, and you will find all the measurements on the blog post, and you can find the link to that in the description box below. You'll also find all the supplies linked there as well. So if you make a box like this, or if you're making something else using the Nest of Winter Designer Series paper, do tag me in and let me see. I love to see what everybody makes. So there we go. And if you don't have this paper, when are you getting it? It is glorious. And you need it because I want to see what you've made from it. And you will want to make some lovely winter themed cards, decor, whatever, using this paper. This is actually the 4th project in a series using this paper. So I've used it already 3 times to make cards, and you can find those already live on my YouTube channel. So they should be the last 3 projects. I will list and link them at the end of this video, so do have a quick look. Well, more than a quick look, they are wonderful projects, and let me know which is your favourite. So there we go, we've made our box. So we just put glue on all 4 little tabs and made our little box as we normally do. Okay, so now as you can see, this is going to wrap around and fold together like this. Isn't that lovely? So all I want to do now is I want to put glue. Well, actually no, let's finish off here. I should have done this before we put this together, it would have been a bit easier, but I was yabbering. It's going to come together like this, so we want to put designer series paper on these 2 long sides. So let me bring in all my bits of designer series paper that I've got. Make sure I get the right sizes. There we go. Let's get them all out here and let's get going. This glue really has seen better days, but we're a crafter. We will continue to use it until there's nothing at all left, because that's what us crafters do, isn't it? We don't like to waste anything. So the beauty of a wet glue like this, you can keep on using it until there's virtually nothing left. And let me know, what's your favourite glue? In the description box, in the comments below, I'd love to know what works for you. Because glue is a very personal choice. What works for one person doesn't always work for somebody else. So okay, so there we've got our base. Now, as I said to you, this is going to fold together like this. So we want to have our pattern paper here, and I'm going to put this down. I do have more glue, don't worry, but it's downstairs because I film in the office upstairs because my craft room is too small to film in, so I need to bring another one up with me. So until that happens, we will be fighting with this one. Okay, so, and then we've got 2 little strips here for the sides. Okay, and this is beautiful paper. If you have a look back at the previous videos, you'll see that it's lovely. There's lots of pages where you can fussy cut elements and all sorts. Really, really pretty paper. Okay, right, that's all of our paper done. So now I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of our box, and then we can work on the interlocking mechanism. I can show you how to make that, because it really is super easy, and even if it doesn't look like it initially. It really is extremely easy to make. So I'm putting quite a bit of glue there because I don't want it to go anywhere now. You wanted to make sure that it's centered top to bottom, but I left a little giveaway, and it's between those two score lines. So this is when wet glue comes into its own, gives you time to wiggle about, and just make sure everything is in the same orientation. It is. Last time I made this it wasn't, and I had to rip up my box to try and get it back into the right orientation. It did work. I did manage it, but my heart was beating a little faster. So then we've got it like that. Isn't that cute? I really like that. That's really nice. Okay, so we're just going to hold that like that. Okay, so I'm going to bring in some pieces I've already die cut, and this is the stylish shape dies, and I've cut out the largest banner and the smallest banner. So I've cut the largest banner out of cherry cobbler cardstock, and then I've cut it again out of garden green designer series paper. And this is just from the Regal's pack of designer series paper. And I'm just going to stick one to the other. There you go, and they should fit perfectly. I just wanted a little bit more weight behind my paper. And then I've got these two pieces here of cherry cobbler. And again, I'm going to stick one to the other. Gives us a real, because this is going to be a closing mechanism, I wanted to have some weight to it, some stiffness to it. Then I'm going to take again the small piece here, which is what we used to cut this bit out, and I'm going to center it top to bottom, left to right on here. And then I'm going to take a piece of post-it note tape. Oops, sorry about that. And I'm going to just run that through the die cutting machine. Okay, so we've done that, so just gently peel this off. There we go. Can use that again. I use it and use it usually until there's nothing left. Get rid of that piece. We don't need it for today. And then we're ready to stick this onto our box. So we don't want to put glue across the whole piece. We just want to put glue across half. So if we put it there, what I'm going to do actually is turn it upside down, and then look with a pencil. And I want to put glue up until my pencil marks. Okay, so a little bit of glue. I fold one over the other. Just give that a good pinch down. Now the same is true here. We only want glue on a little bit at the end here. And then what you want to do, bring these two together, hold them in place, and you're just going to inlay the die. I'm going to lift the green, just keep holding that in place. Oh, I didn't want to stay in place. I was being too impatient. So just put it back down again, inlay it in. You just want to make sure that's going to take. So just take a minute to pinch it and hold it in place. Okay, suppose I was having trouble to pinch it. I just went and got an old punch. And I'll show you in a minute, just pushing it down. Just to put it inside, just so I had something to push down on. And then you can see here, I can take that out now because it's all nice and dry. And then your box will fold like that. Isn't that clever? So, last little bit of decoration. I'm going to get some of these gorgeous rhinestones. And I'm just going to put one in the centre. And then along my little buckle there. So there we go. There are our two fabulous interlocking gift boxes. So I hope you enjoyed this gift box making tutorial, paper crafting tutorial, featuring the Nest of Winter Designer Series paper from Stampin Up. If you enjoyed the tutorial, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you want any more information like the supply lists, all the measurements, etc., it's all on the blog post on my website, and the links to that and all my social media links are in the description box below. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.